Now playing on the offensive line for the Redskins. Wait, who is that? It started unimaginably bad, and somehow ended infinitely worse. Quarterback Kirk Cousins was either on his back end or taking cover much of the day, so he might have only noticed during the Redskins huddles that the faces of the ragtag group of offensive linemen charged with protecting him kept changing. Only 2 regular starters were healthy enough to dress at the beginning of Sunday's game. And by the end of a rain-soaked 33-19 Cowboys win, that unit consisted of just one, right tackle Morgan Moses, who was hobbling on a pair of sprained ankles. The rest of the group? A rookie at center and another at left tackle. At right guard was a lineman who signed with the team 5 days earlier and had all of 2 Redskins practices under his belt. That's actually quite the luxury compared with the left guard, who joined the team 1 day earlier. Eric Uengio's phone rang around 9 a.m. on Saturday. He was still in bed. 2 days earlier he was on the Ravens sideline, a member of Baltimore's practice squad, but suddenly he was racing to Redskins Park to report to duty. The ink on his contract hadn't even dried when he dressed for the team's afternoon walkthrough on Saturday. The best and worst moments from Washington's Week 8 loss to Dallas. On Sunday, with the game on the line, Uengio was forced into duty. Nearly every warm body was, in fact, after left guard Sean Laval suffered a stinger and tackle T.J. Clemmings injured his ankle. Tyler Catalina was making his NFL debut and found himself lined up at left tackle for the first time in his life, essentially the number 4 option on the depth chart. Redskins coach Jay Gruden called the whole thing mind-boggling. "You really can't make this up," said left tackle Trent Williams, who missed Sunday's game with a lingering knee injury and is uncertain when he'll be healthy enough to play again. "This is something that I've never in my life, playing football, never seen this type of injury bug bite a time like it's bitten us." To no one's surprise, an offensive line that featured either 3 or 4 reserves for 4 quarters of physical football struggled. For a second straight game, Cousins was sacked 4 times. He fumbled twice, losing the first one. The Cowboys were credited with 8 quarterback hits, and Cousins threw a late interception, a pick 6 for Dallas. The ground game was non-existent for most of the game. Injuries: Cowboys overtake outmanned Redskins in the Sunday slog. Yeah, obviously you're going to say, what the hell is going? Catalina said not long after his first taste of NFL action. But the motto of football is, next man up. So whoever's going to step in and play is going to have to do a great job because we're expecting to win no matter who's out there. No one was heaping blame on the Washington reserves. The circumstances weren't favorable. Some were dumped in new positions, others had little time to learn new plays. "We mainly had to coach our guys up on what to do," Gruden said. There were no alternatives, not for the players who were tossed into the fire and not for the coaches who were trying to extinguish it. "You don't really have much choice," said guard Tony Bergstrom, who was signed on Wednesday, 2 days after he was released by the Ravens. "You don't really have the luxury to say, hey, I need more time to learn this thing." Redskins game day, Washington loses amid a torrent of injuries, turnovers. The Redskins also lost 2 other potential blockers to injuries on Sunday, tight ends Jordan Reed, hamstring, and Niles Paul, concussion, which forced Gruden to dump about a quarter of his playbook, essentially all of the 2 and 3 tight end sets. Washington made Williams, center Spencer Long and guard Brandon Scherff inactive before the game, and as the Redskins make their last-ditch effort to catch the Cowboys late in the 4th quarter, the team's regulars could only watch and grimace. "It makes me sick to my stomach. All the guys who are hurt right now are just taking to get out there and help our team," Long said. "But there's nothing we can do about it. Injuries happen in this league. It's a rough sport." The Redskins might be facing similar line woes next week. Long and Scherff could be day-to-day this week, and Williams said the knee injury that has limited him for the past several weeks does not appear to be improving. He was hopeful Sunday's rest would improve his chances of playing at Seattle next Sunday. I've played through this thing for a month. I've been dealing with it, and it hasn't gotten any better. It's progressively gotten worse. I'm essentially back to where I started at, a month later," he said. "If it continues to go down that road, I'm probably not going to be available for my team